By 2025, 75% of workers will be millennials, and DEI activism will attract new hires searching for a more socially conscious environment. They also embrace change, choose the work they like, and are not afraid. They are better educated, prefer flexibility in their work, and are more diverse. They like to be impactful. They put their money where their values are. In the US alone, millennials have a buying power of $1.4 trillion. They cannot be ignored. Similarly, youth leaders in Rotary cannot be ignored. Rotaract is close to 208,000 strong in 11,000 plus clubs all over the world. After much surveys and consultations, it was time to take action. Rotaract wanted flexibility, more ways to serve, and recognition for the amazing work they are doing. And in order to grow, Rotary needed Rotaract. Its vibrancy, its focus on impactful causes, and its resourcefulness when executing projects. And so Rotaract was elevated. It is now a distinct membership type and no longer just a youth program. It is now more independent and flexible and can apply for grants on their own. Key to the success of the program is better synergy, mutually beneficial initiatives and programs that one sees value in the other. There is one club in the Philippines that has achieved this seamless integration. A multi-awarded club of 52 years that produced 7 past district governors. The Rotary Club of San Francisco del Monte broke several glass ceilings and barriers, accepted the entry of women, and Rotaractors turned Rotarians, and an innovative corporate membership type. It was not just the club that broke barriers, but the way they did it. And to share his story of his club is a shining example of that same seamless integration. A Rotaractor president, and now Rotary Club President-elect, Louie de Real.
Let us all give a round of applause to Louie Boy de Real.
Morning, Louie. I'd just like to ask you, what do you think is the biggest challenge as we transition into Rotaract, now being a membership type rather than a mere youth program? And what do we need to do to elevate Rotaract in terms of leadership, training, and membership?
Thank you, Go, for that question. Do you hear me? Okay.
Go ahead.
I think the biggest challenge of Elevate Rotaract is really making that perception shift among Rotarians, where we see Rotaract not just as a type of membership that we have elevated because we want to give them a platform so that they can participate in Rotary. I think we should also see the value that working with Rotaractors would eventually benefit us as Rotarians. And that's how I see it in terms of my personal experience as a Rotaractor turned Rotarian. And also in my own Rotary Club, where we have a lot of Rotaractors who have become Rotarians, and Rotaractors still who are actively working with our sponsor, Rotary Club. So before I move on to the suggestions on how we can further elevate Rotaract, allow me to talk briefly about what I think is the competitive advantage of Rotaract versus other youth organizations. In my profile, it was explained that I have been an active student leader for the past 18 years. Even before I became a Rotaractor, I am already part of various organizations in the school and in the community. But only in Rotaract, I stayed for 12 years and continue on my journey with Rotary. Because what I saw as the competitive advantage of Rotaract is that we are part of an organization where we can immediately get and learn from potential mentors, which are the Rotarians. I met Rotaract at a personal crossroad because during that time, I ran for SK in our barangay, but due to the current system that we have in the Philippines, ordinary young people like me, even with the best intentions and the best programs that you would want to offer the community, I did not win. And during that time, I questioned myself, do I still want to be active in community work? Do I still want to have that personal sense of helping other people through my own means? And then someone introduced me to Rotaract in a certain youth conference that I attended. And personally, I thought back then, I'm not sure if I want to become part of Rotaract because I just experienced a defeat. But what convinced me to become part of Rotaract is during the orientation seminar, I felt amazed that Rotaractors are working with Rotarians who are experienced community leaders, business leaders, who can probably help us develop our personal skills, our skills in work, because most Rotaractors are young professionals. And true enough, that was that was always the reason why I became active in Rotaract. I'm very proud of the Rotary Club where I come from because we really have that strong working relationship with our Rotaractors. But it did not come as easy. Of course, it started with the similar journey of most of our Rotary clubs where we still try to identify how can we have good working relationship with our sponsored Rotaract Club. But I think the success of our Rotary and Rotaract Club came from our mutual intent to get to know what we do as two different types of clubs, have those opportunities to have conversation, to learn from each other, do joint meetings, do joint projects, be present in each other's events. And I think that built the foundation for many of our Rotarians to understand the differences, especially the intergenerational differences in terms of attitude, culture, and perspectives. And I think that allowed our Rotary Club to have an early training ground when eventually its young professional membership grew. This year, our Rotary Club grew from 53 members to now 110 members. And one-third, I think, of those new members came from the young professional group. And as we go along with our Rotary Club journey, I think our Rotary Club is at the best position to work with young professionals because they have done so well when they worked with the Rotaractors. So for me, number one, most important thing, if you want to make success in Elevate Rotaract, is for Rotarians to really act as mentors or as colleagues of these Rotaractors. For me, it's not really important if Rotary clubs put forward resources for Rotaractors. That would, of course, benefit us. But I think the attachment that we could potentially have with the Rotary as an organization would come from those genuine experiences, conversations, or like treating our Rotarians as mentors, as someone that we could learn from, or as someone that we could partner in whatever cause that we would want to achieve in Rotary. That's why for me, the second most important thing that we should do is to leverage all activities, events in Rotary at the club, district, and multi-district level as an opportunity to work together with the Rotaractors. What I realized in my long journey in Rotaract is that we advance almost the same causes with Rotary. We also want to advance the Rotary Foundation. We advance all the 7 areas of focus. Of course, Rotaractors have creative ways of doing things in order to advance these causes. But if we try to learn from each other and complement our resources, we could have a bigger impact as Rotary. Rather than using just the 1.2 million membership of Rotarians in order to make an impact, we can add on the potential impact of 200,000 Rotaractors worldwide. And actually, the number is bigger in the Philippines because right now, Rotaractors in the Philippines are at 11,000. I think Rotarians in the Philippines are somewhere close to 20,000. So the number is not really that high in terms of Rotaractors and Rotarians. And then third and most important, if you want to elevate Rotaract, is that make the transition of experienced, passionate Rotaractors seamless in Rotary. I hope many people like me who came from Rotaract would eventually become Rotarians in the future. In our country, I think we are almost 300 Rotaractors turned Rotarian already. And that's a good number. And I know I see many of my colleagues who became Rotarians are now being important players in district level, in the club level, participating in the development and implementation of global grants. Because what's good if we invest in Rotaract, the manner, I mean, the investment that we will do versus a new Rotarian who's really new in the organization, who has no prior knowledge on how we do things in Rotary. When we look at our Rotaractors, they receive almost the same training. They learn our Rotary values at an early age. And as mentioned by many of our panelists, if we start young, the retention, the impact on what we want to teach our young people is longer compared when we deal with someone new. So imagine the savings that the Rotary organization would make if we make the transition of Rotaractors seamless into Rotary. And for me, if we are focused on helping other people, I mean the communities in general, we already have young people inside our doors. So the effort that we will invest in terms of shaping these young people by just merely giving them the opportunity to participate in our own activities, in our own causes, in our own projects, we can really save on a lot of costs. And the impact is, for me, long-term. Because as I personally experienced, I've been a Rotaractor for 12 years. And I was convinced to become a Rotarian because, not because I enjoyed my Rotaract journey, but because I was very amazed with the experience I had working with Rotarians. So if many Rotaractors like me would experience that feeling, for me, it's no longer a question of whether they would join Rotary in the future. Because they enjoy Rotaract for so many years. Being in another organization who does the same thing as Rotaract, almost the same thing, there are just, of course, differences in terms of resources that they need to put up. But that's something that we as Rotarians can eventually address. That's why, as part of DEI, we're trying to put more flexibilities for our young people to participate. And I have to give credit to my own sponsor, Rotary Club, because that's one of the most important things that they did when Rotaractors turned Rotarians. They made juice for Rotaractors manageable. The meetings that we do, we are now a combination of in-person and virtual. And also, I would like to share that this is the year where we had our first female president. Our Rotary Club, for 52 years, I mean for 49 years, we used to be an all-male Rotary Club. But in 2019, when we tried to open the doors to female and to Rotaractors, I think our Rotary Club really evolved so much. To the point that right now we have a Rotary Club president who is female. The comfort and care of women is really felt. I mean, I've been a Rotaractor participating in Rotary activities. I can say that there's really so much difference when the president is female. You know, the way the way we want to do activities, the way we do meetings, it's always that feeling that will this be something that will make our members comfortable or cared of. And that also makes the same impact if we have Rotaractors as part of our Rotary Club, because you would also want to make the Rotaractors or the young professionals in general feel that when they participate in Rotary Club meetings, it would not be so hard for them. We are also listening on their different perspectives, and we make it manageable for them so that their current resource level would be applicable or aligned to how we operate our Rotary Club. And that's all for now.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Louie. We're greatly inspired. We will now view a response video, as we call it, that features your Rotary Club.
As we near the end of today's DEI Town Hall, we can conclude the following. 1. DEI works. It makes your club more attractive. Then 49 years old, the Rotary Club of San Francisco del Monte made a historic move to open its doors to women, Rotaractors, and corporate members. The result, from 65 to now 110 members in 2 years, plus women, plus Rotaractors to Rotarians, plus younger members, plus corporate members. 2. We celebrate achievements in gender equality. Rotaract Philippines has achieved gender parity at 51% female members, but more importantly, 7 out of 10 districts achieved parity. Rotary Philippines is 35% women, higher than the global average of 25%. Women in Rotary have taken leadership positions as district governor, district officers, and club presidents. Some districts are close to reaching gender parity in these positions. 3. In areas in the Philippines and other parts of the world, economic inclusion is the main concern. Rotary has the means and the organization to implement holistic and sustainable community service projects to help uplift lives. 4. We are the most gay-friendly country in Asia, but we need to do a lot more to welcome the LGBTQ+ community and make them feel comfortable and cared for in our clubs. 5. The Philippines is rich in different cultures. Let us embrace all cultures and help remove prejudices passed on from generation to generation. 6. Let us walk the talk and live our Rotary lives with a DEI lens. Thank you.
I would like to address this question to, of course, to Louie. And the question is, what was the turning point of your club, the Rotary Club of San Francisco del Monte, to accept women members? How did you convince the men to allude to the club's decision, and how has it been so far?
Thank you. Thank you, Gov. Anna. I think one of the turning points of our own Rotary Club is seeing really how women work. Our Rotary Club has close working relationship, I can say, with the Inner Wheel Club. So which are mostly composed of the spouses of our Rotarians. So we do some joint activities. So from there on, you can see that there are opportunities for for the male and female would-be members to have to understand each other better. And another turning point that I think was also considered when we accepted women is that there are many active Rotaractors in our Rotaract Club who are female. That if we do not open our doors to female members, we would lose these potentially exceptional Rotaractors. We have female DRRs. We have a lot of really active Rotaractors who are really making ways in our district, making names in our district and even in the whole country. So seeing these women at work, it is really natural for our Rotary Club, seeing that many of our body Rotary clubs in the district are already opening doors for female, it is the necessary thing to do. But it all started first with conversations. I think when we want to institute change, we have to be, we have to really start and make lengthy conversations. especially to those who could potentially be our enemies with the idea. So, of course, there were lengthy conversations, especially with the elder Rotarians. And if we made already our intentions clear of the benefit of accepting women members, but then there will still be, naysayers, we really just have to make that political will to do it. But we've done it gradually. Not something that, oh, okay, we have 50 female members to be inducted in the Rotary Club. That's why in our video, it was highlighted that we started first with corporate members represented by females, and then inducting active Rotaractors, because our male Rotarians already know these people, and of course, the spouses of our own Rotarians. Now, how has it been after 2 years that we have female members? As I mentioned earlier in my sharing, number one, there's really that environment of comfort and care in the way we do things. Number two is we have been able to increase the number of people working in our Rotary Club. Because as I have served it in my Rotary Club, our president right now alone is really very enthusiastic. So she radiates that same energy to the whole of the membership. And of course, there are also many female Rotarians who are already part of our club board, who's really helping us operate our Rotary Club. And of course, that made our Rotary Club environment more appealing to future members. Because as you can see, we have a group picture flashed earlier. If you are a would-be Rotarian, wouldn't you be excited to become part of a club with so much differences in terms of gender, in terms of age? You see, especially if you want to attract young people into Rotary, and you see that this Rotary Club is a hodgepodge or a hot pot of differences, of different generations, of different genders, of different backgrounds. I should also highlight that our Rotary Club was mostly composed of lawyers before, but now we have optometrists, fitness enthusiasts. I mean, name the different professions, because of our intent to really become more welcoming. So I can say that it has really helped our Rotary Club a lot in terms of engagement, attracting members, and most importantly is leadership succession. Before our Rotary Club president, right now, Joan Policarpio, was elected, we had that leadership crisis. We don't know who will lead the club because all the male Rotarians who have not been president do not want to become president. But here she is. She accepted the nomination, and then our Rotary Club really grew in 4 months from 53 members to 110 members because of her enthusiasm in Rotary. So you see, if we really try to open up our environment, we can realize and achieve things that we never envisioned that we can do before, even at the club level.
Thank you, Louie. President Jen, would you like to share some few closing remarks as we conclude this forum?
Well, thank you. I would like to thank each of the panelists for your incredible honesty and the organizers of this to understand that the reason a conversation like this is important is, again, to break down barriers. And for all of you to have attended today, it shows that we understand that this is a really important conversation for us to have. And I mentioned the word honesty. You know, the questions that were asked. I love the nature of the questions that were asked, very direct questions. And that's the kind of conversation that we can have in our organization because we provide a safe space for us to be able to ask someone something that maybe, you know, you might not feel comfortable about. But because we have a place of inclusion and warmth and comfort, it gives us that opportunity to be real with each other. And I think that that is the hallmark of exactly what we just went through over the past 2 hours of being here in very rich dialogue, hearing about the whole spectrum of how we can do things perhaps a little bit differently. And so I want to congratulate all of you for being here. I want to congratulate the people who organized this. And I couldn't help but feel that I wish that everyone in the world had been able to tune in to hear the nature of the dialogue that was taking place today, and also the incredible strides that you have made as a nation to being at the forefront of this topic. And this is not how it is everywhere else in the world. And so thank you for being genuinely open in the kind of embracing of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and understanding that this is not a trend. This is a way that we need to live and that we need to be good to one another. And so I leave here today with my heart full, knowing that this was a genuine, authentic opportunity to move things forward. And hopefully, maybe for a few of us in the room, maybe we've seen something a little different than we expected, and maybe all of our minds are a little bit more open to how we can be embracing diversity, equity, and inclusion in our most authentic way. So thank you so much for this spectacular event, and to each of the panelists who are here, thank you for your candor, your honesty, and for being part of our discussion.
Thank you, President Jen.